think I'm gonna do Jacob's mission now, just to get it over with. I have a couple reasons for doing it first.
Shepard, how can I help?
Let's talk to some people first.
Have you got a minute to talk?
Perhaps later. Trying to determine how Scale Itch got onto Normandy. Sexually transmitted disease only carried by Varen. Implications unpleasant. Anything else?
I'll let you work.
I'll be here if you need me.
Forgot about that line. Those implications aren't great, are they? Yikes-a-rooney. Okay.
Commander, sorry I'm a little unfocused. Personal matter. It won't affect my duties.
If it affects my crew, it's my business.
Sir, I don't want to distract from our mission, especially if it turns out to be nothing. But... well, I got pinged by a ghost the other night.
Uh-oh.
Family.
There's a little tiny cat here who wants his meal. His evening meal. Is that right? Okay, let's go get dinner for you. Yeah. Alright, I'm back.
It's only a waste of time if you jerk me around. What is it?
My father was first officer on a ship that went missing 10 years ago. I had not talked to him for 3 years prior. His ship, the Hugo Gernsback, sent an SOS last week, reporting a crash and a request for rescue. Just like that, out of the black. I'm not convinced it isn't just some automated distress signal ticking over. It's been too long.
You'd like us to go take a look at the wreck, see if it's legit.
If the coordinates aren't too far out of our way, I could at least verify the wreck. Who knows, maybe there is actually someone out there. I want to also mention that I don't make a habit of looking for random SOS signals. This was passed to my personal log through Cerberus filters.
Any signs that this is a Cerberus front? Who passed this to you?
I doubt the elusive man would let a direct operations stake hold this long. If there's a link, it's probably just about money. Cerberus needs diverse holdings to fund projects like, well, you. And whoever sent this my way covered their tracks. Someone could be fishing for favors, or thought it would get under my skin. Who knows with that bunch?
Tell me about the Hugo Gernsback and what it was doing.
Privately held frigate. I looked over the mission brief when it disappeared. Nothing stood out. Typical research and grab operation. Find an uncharted planet, stake a claim, and establish as large a presence as you can as fast as possible to shut out competitors.
She's not gonna ask him about his relationship with his dad just because it's not relevant to her interests.
I think we can spare the time. Pass the coordinates to Joker.
I appreciate that, Commander. I don't expect more than dusty old bones, but it'll be good to close the record.
I have her do this first. For meta reasons, it's because I don't like this mission. I think it's a badly written, offensive mission.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
And that guy. And also I figure like she probably just assumes that it's gonna be a quick thing, that it's probably not live people there, you know? And she's just like, alright, we'll get it over with. I don't know. It's mainly because I just do it to get out of the way.
Anomaly detected.
General distress. MSV.
Probe launched. Scans have found something.
I've run a scan of the ship. I detect no life signs, but there may be useful technology or information still inside.
There it is, and mostly intact. They could have survived impact, but it's been years. Looks like it was stripped after the crash. They'd have tried to get a beacon up as soon as possible.
Along with the
Repeat, toxology alert. Danger of rapid neural decay. Local flora chemically incompatible with human physiology. Override. Beacon resumed. Pause time, 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours.
Don't like this mission.
What? What was her name? Sarah? Suzanne? My god, I can't remember. I can't remember her face. We need to get out. So I can remember. Can think straight. They have to hurry. Luxury of due process, but this isn't a military ship. Just bumping the command line up a notch doesn't work. Captain Fairchild knew this crew. His replacement doesn't command the same level of respect. I'm hoping the man has it in him, but I don't.
Repeat, toxology alert. Danger of...
From the look of it, this beacon's been here a while. Why would they wait years to signal?
Pause in beacon protocol. 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours. Pause is recorded as... Record deleted by Acting Captain Ronald Taylor.
That's not right. My father was first officer.
Ronald Taylor was promoted under emergency command protocols. Other flagged issues: unsafe deceleration, local food and neural decay, beacon activation protocols.
I assume unsafe deceleration refers to the crash. Give me the details.
Following an unspecified impact and sublight drive failure, the Hugo Gernsback made an unscheduled descent at 465% of theoretical recommended suborbital velocity. The Hugo Gernsback then decelerated at 782% of theoretical recommended approach velocity, sustaining significant damage to investment and crew.
Why are you comparing the crash to theoretical speeds?
The Hugo Gernsback was constructed off-world. It is not rated for suborbital descent, and doing so exceeded operational parameters.
Who is in command of this ship? Where are the survivors?
Captain Harris Fairchild reported killed following unscheduled suborbital descent. First Officer Ronald Taylor promoted in-field to acting captain.
But where is he now?
The location of the remaining crew of the Hugo Gernsback is unknown. This beacon has been unattended for several maintenance cycles.
Why wasn't the beacon activated before now?
This emergency beacon became functional after 358 days, 12 hours. Following the unscheduled suborbital descent of the Hugo Gernsback, activation was triggered remotely after 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours, on the authority of Acting Captain Ronald Taylor. Pause in beacon protocol is recorded as record deleted.
Local food impairs brain functions? What are the effects?
Impairment of mental function due to chemical imbalance begins within 7 days of ingesting local flora, regardless of decontamination or preparation. Impact on higher cognitive abilities and long-term memory is cumulative, but significant.
Let me just get the spider
range.
outside.
It is not known if neural decay is permanent. Data collection was not completed.
And the little spider's outside. It was like, can I play the game with you? Can I get on your keyboard? And I was like, no, you're just not tall enough to see the screen and do the keyboard and the mouse at the same time. I think you'd be happier outside.
Come on, let's get going.
My father had a working beacon, but didn't signal for almost 9 years. Maybe that neural decay affected him.
Shouldn't eat local flora. Probably had no choice. Inevitable after that long.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that I'm probably not gonna have a lot of stuff to say during this mission, because it makes me so uncomfortable, and I also, like, I don't really have anything constructive to say about it. Like, I don't feel like I don't have a place to speak on the issues with it. You know, it's a racist writing, and other people have said it a lot better than me.
The hunters. They will have seen your star. They will not let you help him.
Who are you? What was your rank on the Gernsback?
I can't think. The leader thinks for us, and we serve. So we can go home. But some want to fight him. They were cast out. He exiled them. So they hunt his machines and those who help him. They don't believe that rescue...
Watch out!
Hunters, they won't stop until the leader is dead.
Kill them! Agents of the liar! He will not escape! Trouble coming!
I will say that I don't like the updated hair of Mass Effect 3 compared to the previous games. And one of the ones I don't like the most is what was called the sexy hairstyle, which in the 1 and 2 used to be kind of stringy looking, which fit really well with the setting of people who, you know, have been on a deserted island. But now it's like, it looks like that, and it's just not as interesting. I have a lot I could rant for ages about ME3 and the hair changes. They're just bad. You know, more tight buns. Just uglier, less realistic, even though they're like they're supposed to be more realistic, but they're kind of not. They're just like worse. Wow, I usually die.
Worse than neural decay. Suspect mental instability.
Let me just check if I feel like this is on casual. Oh no, it's not. Okay.
Something is very wrong.
I usually die here, so I'm surprised I didn't. I'm gonna save it really quick. Yeah, I'll wait.
Of course.
Sorry, Morden. Didn't mean to mislead you.
Strip for parts. Tech's wearing out. Those hunters must be laying on the pressure. Is that a settlement? They'd better be friendlier than the beach group. I need answers.
Clearly docile. Same uniform remnants as those who attacked, however.
Is this an earlier stage, or did the exile make the others violent?
Previous females said hunters were exiled. Genders segregated. Unusual.
It doesn't matter right now. One of these people must know what my father has to do with this.
You have his face. He promised to call the sky, but he sends nothing.
He forced us to
He
eat.
literally doesn't have his face.
Decay.
Doesn't look anything like him.
You are cursed with his face.
Not the best reaction to the family resemblance, Jacob.
Why would my father force his crew to eat toxic food? Whatever's happening here needs to stop. Look at these spoiled food stores. They've been eating only that toxic local food for who knows how long. Like that wasn't obvious enough.
Not only is the writing racist, it also has weird bioessentialism stuff with how the women become docile and the men become violent, which is just like a weird choice. I mean, it's not a surprising choice for BioWare. The whole thing is just...
What the hell? Somebody had to push them to make that. That's borderline worship.
He keeps us, protects us, and we please him like he demands.
Oh, God.
Threat neutralization initiated. Your captain demands obedience. Weapons are forbidden.
Come on over!
Collision proximity. Your captain demands obedience. Weapons are forbidden.
Enjoy.
Your captain demands obedience. Weapons are forbidden. Your captain demands obedience. Weapons are forbidden.
Not familiar with a protocol that condones crew suppression via lethal force.
Well, that would make them hate him. Maybe it was just for defense.
Please, here. You could end it. You have his face, but you fight his machines. You might stop this. This, I forget how to read, but this was the start. What he promised, and what they did to us. We need the sky. Take us back to the sky.
Jacob, what does it say?
It's a crew logbook. Some of them thought the beacon repair was taking too long. They were afraid they'd run out of supplies and lose their minds to the decay. My father restricted the ship food for himself and the other officers so they wouldn't be affected. Everybody else had to eat the toxic food and hope for treatment later. The rest is a casualty list. A few mutinied over the decision. My father and his officers turned the mechs on them.
The beacon was fixed after a year, so the plan must have worked. Why no signal?
Those weren't the last entries on the casualty list. More incidents, harsh punishments. It's like they're cattle, or toys. In a year, all the male crew members are flagged as exiled or dead. They separated out the women, assigned them to officers, like pets. And after the beacon is fixed, the officers appear in the casualties too. After. My father took control and didn't stop it.
We haven't seen any other officers. He killed them?
There were 5 after the crash. Medical, engineering, bridge staff. Should have had no problem fixing the beacon and keeping people safe. All killed within the same week. About a month after the beacon was repaired.
Anything in there about whether the effects of the toxic food can be treated?
Nothing. But it seems like the right call. If everyone gets it, who's left to fix the beacon? You'd never get out. But they did fix it. And the signal wasn't sent until now. I'm starting to see why.
I'm not gonna click on that because, you know, we know why.
It's looking like he only activated the beacon because the men have come back ready to fight.
He let this happen, and now it's biting him in the ass. 9 years. Why didn't he set it right? I need to find this man. Really him. Just got free. He's covering his ass.
Old dead left posed, positioned. Possibly a warning. Recent corpses left where they fell.
The hunters started fighting back.
Enemies inbound. Oh! Oh! Should do the trick.
Careful, I automated my defenses after the crew turned violent. Keep attacking.
He had plenty of choices. Too late to blame the victims.
Excuse me.
Get over here!
Impact event. Impact imminent.
Got him.
Impact event.
Tag!
Brother, huh?
Excuse me.
Lost shields.
I am.
Get ready for fight. Could burn through any armor.
Disengaging friend or foe.
Enjoy.
Have a nice
Neutralize.
Excuse me. We're offline. I am.
It always makes me sigh when they crawl like that. I'm like, oh, I want to befriend you.
Could burn through any armor.
Gravity's what we need, mother, huh?
Collision proximity warning. Impact. Backup systems engaged. Rerouting power. Critical system failing. Love it.
Incoming.
We're offline. System failing. Critical system damage. Requesting assistance. Systems failure.
I had to keep them busy, distracted, but it's getting dangerous. Thank God you've come.
He had his fun, and now he wants out. Son of a bitch.
Never sure what Beatrix would do in this situation. Whether she would leave him or get him picked up. Or I think because he's not Alliance. Because I think if he's Alliance, she would go through the proper channels. But since he's not Alliance, that she might just be petty and leave him. Which, like, from like an outside perspective, I don't think it's very fair to the people affected by the neural decay to leave him to them attacking him, because then, like, you know, they are going to recover and then they're going to have more deaths on their hands that you could maybe prevent.
One down. Not difficult.
It took years to train my guards. I'm afraid you'll have to fight them to rescue me.
Throwing people away. This thing is not my father.
And that's just kind of using people who, but I don't think Beatrix would think like that. I don't think she would. Stupid drones. You know, I think she would kind of be like, leave him to the hell he made or whatever, you know. And I think you can drive him to suicide. I've never done that. I don't really know how to do that, and I don't know. I don't think she would do that. It's a little too manipulative for her. She doesn't have the patience to do that, I don't think.
I've got him!
Ah, fuck.
Come on over.
Ah, fuck off. I know I should be using heavy weapons and I'm too lazy. Actually, maybe I can get him to attack some of the people.
Enemy drone. I got it.
Impending explosion.
Do the trick.
Have a nice trip.
Where is he? Over there he is.
Enough with the toys. I need to look my father in the eye and hear him justify this.
Okay, I'll save here.
You're here. I knew a real squad would blow through just fine. Sorry if the mech scuffed your pads. I'll get you something nice when we get back to Alliance space. I've gotta have some back pay coming.
What about your crew, acting captain?
Total loss. The toxic food turned them wild. They propped me up here in some kind of ritual behavior. Waiting for a chance to signal has been hell.
That's the best you can do?
You let all your people talk back like that? Who are you exactly?
Doesn't matter. You're running a very questionable setup here, Captain. Explain.
Of course. It was chaos after the crash, and the crew never really accepted me as captain. They rebelled and trapped us here. Once they started eating the toxic food, I couldn't control them. And I couldn't get to the beacon.
Just stop. We know what you did to your crew. Why let this go 10 years?
Who the hell are you?
Taylor. Lieutenant Jacob Taylor.
Jacob? My Jacob?
Not who you expected, Captain?
I was hoping not to have to explain this to him. Or anyone, really. You have to understand, this isn't me. The realities of command, they change you. I wasn't ready for that. I made sure you were taught right. Before I left, I hoped to leave it at that.
I'm not unreasonable, Captain, but 10 years? What happened?
God damn it! Why did you do this to your crew?
There was resistance to the plan. Mutiny. We had to take a hard line to keep order. And things settled down. As the decay set in, we made sure the crew were comfortable. Some even seemed happier. Ignorance is bliss, right? And they were grateful for guidance, like an instinct. Pure authority was easy, at first. Months in, the effect lowered inhibitions. They got territorial. Rank, protocol, they couldn't understand. We had to establish dominance. After a while, the perks seemed normal.
That's it? You created a harem and played king? 10 years in a juvenile fantasy?
I can't point to where it all went wrong. But when the beacon was ready, revealing what happened didn't seem like a good idea.
What happened to the other officers?
Anders found his conscience a little late to step back. He had an accident. Things got tense. End of the day, I was the one with the mechs. I got a little basic in setting examples. But I was kind to my people once things settled down. Seemed like I'd earned some peace.
You fought over people like they were toys. Things.
The stores from the ship couldn't last forever. You had to know this would end one day.
Dining for one can really stretch things out. Besides, I can think of a lot worse retirement plans than stripping down and joining the Droolers. That was before the Hunters, of course. Dumb or not, I'd feel it if they got their hands on me now. They want blood. I'd prefer to keep it.
It's all about you. Everything.
What triggered the males to change and threaten you?
This planet has some strange cycles to it. I've seen some plants around I never saw before. Odd weather. Maybe some just adapted a little too well.
And if you treat them like animals, big shock. They become animals.
There's no way I'm letting this slide, Taylor. The price will be paid.
How much? What kind of math can balance these lives? His life isn't worth pulling the damn trigger. I don't know who you are, because you're not any father I remember.
She wouldn't tell Jacob, like, hey, I'd shoot him if I were you. Like, you know, it's like his dad. And even she's not that oblivious to people's feelings. That's to suggest that. She is oblivious enough to probably say, leave him in the hell from which that he made. Though that makes me feel, you know, I feel like that would be kind of unfair to Jacob also. I'm just gonna do what I usually do, and I'm gonna have him leave. I'm gonna say leave him.
Maybe we go arrange pickup for the rest of the survivors while the acting captain deals with the hole we punched through his max.
Now wait, I'm supposed to get rescued. The crazy ones, you don't know what they'll do to me.
Untrue. Intention's easy to predict, just don't care.
My father was a different man, Shepard. A good man. Wish I'd found him.
Jacob!
You were a better man dead. As far as I'm concerned, you still are.
Jacob!
I don't love this option, but I think it is probably the most in character for her at this point. Please to see Taylor unharmed psychologically by this experience. Yeah, I'm sure he's completely has no lasting feelings about this.
Survivors, Commander. We can be long gone by the time they get here.
They get as much as a glimpse, and you're restricted to decaf.
Great, may as well serve it in the airlock, you hard ass.
What do you mean it wasn't you?
Jacob, if I had leaked the information about the Gernsback, I would be smiling at your resolution of the situation. I am not smiling.
Really? Because given the result, it feels like something you'd have your hands in.
You know very little about me, Shepard. Don't presume to understand my intentions. Cerberus is ultimately about humanity. My people are valuable to me.
Fine. You didn't forward it. So who did?
Oh boy.
I did.
Some unpleasant flashing there.
Was this supposed to be a favor, or did you just want to see him squirm?
What he did with it was his own business. There was a time when it mattered to you. Sending this along seemed like keeping an old promise. I keep my promises.
Miranda, we'll discuss your liberal interpretation of security protocol in private. Shepard, Jacob.
You had no idea Miranda was behind this.
No, she's got a good memory. Selective, but good. I haven't thought about those days in a long time. Can't figure which promise she meant, though. Not sure I really want to know. She requires a better man than I.
I don't believe that, Jacob. You're a good guy.
Come on, we got work to do.
Aye, Commander. Shepard. Thanks for the help.
Let's not make a habit of it.
I think she has fondness towards him. I think that even though he's with Cerberus, I think she sees the Alliance person in him, and then she also kind of sees that he he's a good guy, so even though I think a large part of her mistrusts her and also doesn't want to trust him, I think she does feel some warmth towards him. Alright, I guess that's what I'll do. I'm not gonna do much else for this video. It might be shorter than other ones, but you know, if people want to skip this one, I don't want to have it too full of other information, other content. So, alright, that was not that fun. Bye!